For 5 years at this point, one of the biggest mysteries in Poppy Playtime has been an employee named Rich. Appearing in 4 separate VHS tapes, one in each of the first 4 chapters, Rich became a little bit of a fan favorite. A large number of people even believed that we might play as Rich in the games, and honestly for a long time, this was a very strong theory. With many people pointing out that the fact that he has a tape in all of the first 4 chapters, it just seems weird that Mob Entertainment would draw so much attention to one employee. It almost felt obvious that the player had to be Rich. But most theories you'll find on YouTube or in Reddit threads were created when there were only 4 chapters. And with the newly released Chapter 5, we were given a cassette tape that might actually close the book on Rich. For 4 chapters, we saw his career grow from an entry-level employee. We're first introduced to Rich from a VHS tape in Chapter 1. In the tape, he's very loud, frustrated, and constantly criticizing Playtime Co's management. While talking to another worker named Avery, he begins to vent his specific concerns. Right away, Rich stands out because he isn't afraid to complain about how the company treats its workers. Been there, buddy. And at this point, he represents something kind of rare inside Playtime Co. Somebody willing to speak up.
Rich, where are they keeping the Huggy boxes?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Remember when maintenance left did a sweep of this place?
No.
Exactly. Nobody in this stupid company knows what they're doing. Oh, I swear, I haven't seen a single box in its place since they started flooding the storehouse with orphanage junk.
Right.
I get it. It's a nice program and all on brand, but it's just hard to be happy about it when manufacturing's on our necks about it, because we can't find stupid Huggy boxes.
Rich.
You're right. You're right. It's for the orphans. I just wish there were less boxes. Anything less would be more habitable. Is that even a word? Habitable.
By the second tape, things have changed a little bit. In Chapter 2, the VHS tape we find pertaining to Rich informs us that Rich has been demoted and reassigned to what he calls the Island of Misfit Toys. Now he's isolated, angrier, and clearly being pushed out of sight. Instead of improving the conditions, the company just removes Rich from the equation. They don't let him go, but they put him where nobody has to listen to him anymore. And Rich begins to realize how little power an employee really has at Playtime Co.
Well, it finally happened. After years of being ignored, the company actually heard all my complaints. Yep, they listened very carefully. I guess my words must have really inspired them to take action. Because the next day I got demoted down here to the freaking Island of Misfit Toys! Why do I talk to myself?
We find the third VHS tape in Chapter 3. Rich is having a conversation with his supervisor, Stuart. He admits he wants to do better, but feels trapped between being frustrated and the ambition that he's trying to show. And then Stuart tells him something kind of unexpected. He's retiring, and he's considered recommending Rich to take the position. And for the first time, Rich feels believed in and supported, and he honestly doesn't know how to handle that.
You stupid clunky elevator.
What was that, Richie?
Nothing. Let's just get this shipment dropped and go. Hello, my name is Elliot Ludwig. When you look around...
I take it you're not a fan of this place, are you?
Nope, never liked the feel of it. I mean, don't you think these kids deserve some real sunlight instead of floodlights and painted skies? Hell, we're not even allowed to talk to these kids. Isn't that... Sorry, Stu.
Sorry? That doesn't sound like the Rich I know.
Well, I'm trying to stop being so pissed off all the time. My wife says I'm a lovely man, but I gotta control my temper. So, I'm doing it for her.
You're just different, Rich. Honest to a fault. But I always liked that about you.
Yeah? Well, you're one of the few.
You know, Richie, with my retirement coming up, they've been pushing hard for me to choose my replacement. I'm actually thinking about giving the role to you.
Really?
Yeah, really. Nothing official yet, but I think there's a decent guy beneath all that gruff. An honest, hardworking man. You prove me right? I'd say your chances are pretty good.
Wow. Geez, I don't know what to say. I'm just glad to see not everyone in this place has it out for me.
Not everybody, Rich. Not everybody.
The final VHS tape is found in Chapter 4, and it seems to bring Rich's story full circle. He's now the manager in the same shoes that were once filled by Stuart, and now Rich has to deal with an entry-level employee behaving exactly the way he did in the very first VHS tape. Same anger, same complaints, same frustration, yelling about how people aren't speaking up. Rich finally understands the system from the other side.
That you, kid?
Yeah, it's me.
Don't lurk out there. It's weird. Just come on in. Being early isn't a crime. You know why I asked you here, right?
Why are we doing this dance again, boss?
Because you were reported. And all reports for my people come back to me. Look, I'm not here to place blame. Just tell me your side of this. So, what happened?
This guy, Rod, he works the line. One of those twitchy mooks with the side eye. And this guy, Rod, he saw me drop a box he and his boys filled. Kinda irked him. I think he was joking, that's probably how he meant it, but he dropped some line about me disappearing. Him and the other guys laughed. I was having a bad day, so I yelled at him a bit. About him, about the company, about everything, really.
And where were you when this happened?
The factory floor.
Oh, great.
Look, I don't mean to keep causing you trouble, Rich. You're good to me, to all of us. But the company isn't good to you, or to Rod, or me, or to anyone. Leith says Playtime is better than ever, but profits aren't people. And the profit margins betray just how on edge everyone is. Hell, anywhere else, I'd have probably liked Rod. But because he said it like that, and with all the rumors, I just don't know if I can take it anymore. And it feels wrong that no one says anything as loud as they should.
Look, I get it. This company is far from angelic. Trust me, I know that. And you shouldn't ignore it. But there are smarter ways to go about what you did.
I know. I'm sorry.
Hey, no matter what the executives say, no matter the looks you get, just know that I've got your back, kid. Shipping is a family. We look out for each other. That's the way it is now. So don't fight, don't shout. Just come talk to me from now on, okay? I don't want another report on my desk like this one. I fight for you. All of you. And I'm in a position where I can do so.
Thanks, Rich. It's good to know not everyone here is terrible to us.
Not everyone, kid. Not everyone.
His story felt complete. This is where many players believed his journey connected directly to ours. He started as an entry-level employee, climbed his way up to management, and then the path from there went all over the place. Either he was sick during the Hour of Joy, or he chose not to come in, maybe he was assigned somewhere, maybe he was on a trip. You could write off his absence in so many different ways. There were plenty of alternatives to the idea that he perished with the rest of the employees. Most people believe that for one reason or another, he wasn't there that day, and he's the person coming back that we play as in the first 4 chapters. That is, until they released Chapter 5. This time we find a cassette tape down in the labs, but the conversation doesn't include Rich. It doesn't include his coworkers either. It's actually between 2 executives, Leith Pierre and Eddie Ritterman. I'll be honest with you, if you've ever played Poppy Playtime, you know those might be the 2 worst people to have focused on you. Not just executives, but Leith Pierre and Eddie Ritterman, boy, you messed up. But they seem to be talking about Rich. I'm gonna go ahead and play it first so you can hear it yourself, then I'll break down what this means for the story.
Dave, I've been reviewing your concerns about our head of shipping.
He's becoming some sort of people's champion. Now too many noses are sniffing around. We deal with this now, we'll make him a martyr.
Not if we deal with it the right way.
Oh?
I think Mr. Lovitz is due for a promotion.
You're serious?
Oh, he can't be the people's champion if he's one of us. Up his pay, his title, new parking spot. Give him a new car, too. Let everyone think he sold his soul.
And if it doesn't work?
You worry too much. Try focusing on the bigger picture. Our friends in Tokyo are coming up to speed. At this rate, this factory won't even be our main focus in a few short years.
And the park?
Renovations are underway. I'll be inspecting the premises next week, 7th to the 12th. I trust you won't burn this place down in my absence.
I'll do my best. Though I won't lie, this place is feeling more like a powder keg every day.
During the conversation about Rich, they mentioned that he's become the head of shipping, and according to them, too many people are growing a liking to him. He's become a sort of people's champion. Workers trust him, support him, listen to him. They float the idea that they could eliminate him, but they decide he's too popular amongst the lower level staff, and if he were to vanish, it would draw way too much attention. So they come up with a far more creative and devious idea: promote him even higher, give him more money, more status, even give him a parking space with his name on it, because once the workers believe that he's joined management, they'll stop seeing him as one of their own. They'll think it all went to his head and then they'll distance themselves. But the real kicker comes next, because this recording is dated August 1995. Now, if you're decently versed in the Poppy Playtime franchise, you'll know why that's significant. August 5th, 1995 was the Hour of Joy. So for this recording to be dated August 1995, there's only about a 4.5 day window where this could have happened. And I'll be honest with you, if 2 of the executives, especially Leith Pierre and Eddie Ritterman, are conspiring against you, and that's all taking place within days of the Hour of Joy, that's pretty much as bad as it can get for a person in the Poppy Playtime universe. You would pretty much have to be locked in a room with the prototype to have it any worse than Rich does in that situation. Or you could be Dog Day. So what does this all mean? Well, when you put all 5 recordings together instead of the 4 we were working with previously, Rich doesn't really seem set up to be our protagonist anymore. He spends years fighting the system, only to slowly become part of it, and then probably fall victim to it. Another thing a lot of people like to say is that the Doctor doesn't recognize you when you show up in Chapter 4. Even though it's confirmed that he's been watching you since the moment you walk through the front door in Chapter 1. People use that detail to support the idea that it could be Rich, but consider the tape you just heard. He's no longer an entry-level employee. He's not even the manager of shipping anymore. Eddie and Leith brought him up even higher than that. Not quite to the executives, but they say in the tape if he thinks he's in with us. That wording alone sets him up to be spending more time either in the labs or at least in higher security areas. This new tape really makes it more difficult to believe that if Rich were the player, Harley wouldn't recognize him. Mommy Longlegs and Miss Delight recognized him, but that's believable when you work in shipping. But with what Eddie and Lath laid out, Harley would almost certainly recognize him. And you might have noticed, but during that tape, Eddie was planning to leave right around this time. He was going to be traveling to where they're possibly opening up a Playtime park in Tokyo, and he essentially tells Lath to handle it while he's gone. And based on Eddie telling Lath, handle it while I'm gone, and that agreement being made days before the Hour of Joy, even without knowing the Hour of Joy was coming, I don't see any situation where Lath Pierre would let Rich not be present on that day. Lath probably was keeping a close eye on Rich and probably had him as deep in the factory as he was at this time. If they're really trying to move forward with the illusion they agreed upon, they're going to keep him as close to them as possible until the situation handles itself, and that really sets him up to perish with the rest of the employees. So all in all, it feels like we've really put a bookend on Rich, but we've opened our own story as the player wide open again. And it's probably going to be another year until we have a chapter 6 to give us more information. But that's not going to stop us from theorizing in the meantime, so please remember to like this video and click that subscribe button so you can stay with me as we theorize until the next chapter releases. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.